Pwede ko ba kayong anyayahan mga bata para sa ating pambungad na panalangin? Tayo magsitayo at damhin ang presensya ng Diyos. Yan. Sa aming pag-aaral ngayon, turuan mo kami ng matutong makinig na mabuti sa lahat ng mga mapag-uusapan at gagawin namin. Makiisa kami sa mga talakayan at gawain na ibibigay ng aming guro. Amen. Ayan, magandang umaga at mapagpalang araw sa inyo mga bata. Ayan, sige, magsiupo na kayo. Bago ang lahat, gusto ko malaman kung may lumiban ba sa ating klase ngayong araw na ito? Wala. Very good. Dahil walang lumiban sa ating klase ngayong araw na ito, bigyan natin sila ng 5 malakas na palakpak. Bago ang lahat mga bata, may makapagsasabi ba sa akin kung ano ang tinalakay natin noong nakaraang araw? Magtaas lamang ng kamay ang gustong sumagot mga bata para hindi tayo magulo. Naiintindihan ba? Okay, sige. Ikaw, Hana. Very good, Hana. Natalakay na natin ang mga instrumentong pinupukpok noong nakaraang araw. Pwede ba kayong magbigay ng mga halimbawa ng instrumento pinupukpok na tinalakay natin noong nakaraang araw? Okay, Carlo? Very good, Carlo. Kalutang, ito ang pinakaunang instrumentong pinapalo. Meron pa ba? Okay, Grace? Tama, bungkaka. Ito ay yari sa kawayan. Pinapatugtog sa pamamagitan ng pagpalo o pagpukpok. Very good, mga bata. At marami pang mga halimbawa sa mga instrumentong pinupukpok. Masaya ako dahil nakita ko na nakinig kayo sa talakayan natin noong nakaraang araw. Bigyan natin ulit ng 5 malakas na palakpak ang ating mga sarili. Naalala ko mga bata noong nakaraang araw pagkatapos ng ating klase, kayo ay sinabihan ko na mag-research ng mga halimbawa ng mga instrumentong inihipan yari sa kahoy o woodwind or gawa sa metal o brass wind. Tama ba ako mga bata? Very good. Ilabas nyo na ang inyong mga kwaderno. Ngayon ay mayroon akong mga halimbawa ng mga larawan ng mga instrumentong inihipan at ipapakita ko ito sa inyo isa-isa. Pag alam nyo kung anong instrumento ang nasa litrato, itaas nyo lamang ang inyong mga kamay at sabihin kung anong instrumento ang nasa larawan. Maliwanag ba mga bata? Okay, sige, magsimula na tayo. Ang unang litrato ay, sa tingin nyo mga bata, sino makakapagsabi kung anong instrumento ito? Sige, ikaw, Bea. Very good. Ito ay isang flute. Next photo. Any idea? Yes, Elsa? Ito ay isang clarinet. Very good. Next photo tayo. Yes, Cassie? Very good. Ito ay isang oboe. And next, ano ang larawan na ito? Yes, Chris? Ito ay isang bassoon. Very good. Next photo. Yan, ano to? Yes, James? Ito ay saxophone. Very good. Another photo. Ano ang instrumentong ito? Yes, Grace? Very good. Ito ay trumpet. Next photo. Ano ang nasa larawan? Yes, Bea? Very good. Ito ay trombone. This one, ano ang larawan na ito? Yes, Chris? French horn. Very good. And the last photo, ano ang larawan na to? Yes, Ana? Tuba. Very good. Ito ay tuba. Very good, mga bata. Mahusay, mga bata. Nakita kong nag-research talaga kayo tungkol sa mga instrumentong ito. Bigyan ulit natin ng 5 malakas na palakpak ang ating mga sarili. Alam niyo ba, mga bata, na ang ipinakita ko sa inyo mga larawan ay patungkol sa ating talakayan ngayong araw na ito. Ito ay ang mga instrumentong inihipan gamit ang hangin. At ang mga halimbawa nga nito ay ang mga flute, clarinet, bassoon, oboe, trumpet, trombone, French horn at tuba. Ang pangkat ng instrumentong inihipan ay may 2 yari tulad ng kawayan o kahoy o kaya'y gawa sa metal. Ngayon ay tumungo naman muna tayo sa woodwind o gawa sa kahoy o kawayan. Ito ay binubuo ng mga instrumentong nagtataglay ng reed. Isang inihipang gawa sa manipis na kawayan na inilalagay sa pamamagitan ng mga labi. Ang halimbawa nga nito ay flute. Ano nga ba ang flute? Naiibang instrumentong woodwind dito sapagkat wala itong reed at pinatutugtog sa pamamagitan lamang ng pag-ihip sa isang butas sa gawing dulo ng katawan nito. At ito ang video ng isang flute kung paano ito itinutugtog o ginagamit.
Hello mga kaihip! For today's video, we are going to learn how to play all the notes here on the recorder. Our instrument has 8 holes. We have 7 holes in front and 1 back hole. Each hole has a corresponding number code. The back hole is hole number 0. Starting from the top, we have hole number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you know that we have a golden rule in playing the recorder? Left hand must be on top, regardless if you are right-handed or left-handed, or how awkward it may look. May naka-assign na fingers to cover each holes. We are going to use our left thumb to cover the back hole. Starting from the top, left index finger, left middle finger, left third finger, right index finger, right middle finger, right third finger, and last, right pinky. You already knew how to properly handle our instrument.
At ang susunod nga na halimbawa nito ay ang clarinet. Ano naman ang clarinet? Ito ay inihipang instrumento na may pirasong reed. Ito ay may 24 na butas na makapagbibigay ng mataas na tono. At ito ay kalimitang yari sa kahoy, subalit may mga yari din sa metal at plastic. At mayroon din akong video dito na isang clarinet kung paano ito itinutugtog o ginagamit.
C, D, and E. You might remember we talked about using the solfege scale to figure out the notes of our songs. The solfege scale is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Well, the first 3 notes that we're learning on clarinet make the sound of do, re, mi, C, D, E. So now let's learn how to place our fingers to make those notes on the clarinet. First step is you want to make sure you're holding the clarinet with proper holding position. We have our left hand on top and our right hand goes on the bottom. Both of our hands need to be in a rounded C shape. Imagine like you're holding a tennis ball in your hand. And here's my other hand. So with our round C-shaped hand, we have our left hand on top and our right hand on the bottom.
At ang pangatlong halimbawa nga nito ay ang oboe. Ano naman ang oboe. Ito ay inihipang instrumento na yari sa dalawang pirasong reed na pinagtaklob at may maliit na pagitan. Ito ay may habang dalawang talampakan at yari ito sa kahoy. Ito rin ang video ng isang oboe kung paano ito itinutugtog o ginagamit.
Now that we know how to make a sound on the reed, let's plug this reed in and make a sound on the oboe. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that we want a nice open shape to our throat as well as we're playing. So say ah, that's the feeling you should have in your throat as we're playing these middle range notes that we're learning today. Ah, so da, da, da is basically what I'm doing inside my mouth when I do that. So if we put the reed on the oboe, make sure it's nice and lined up. As we look down the oboe, the reed is nice and straight across. We'll form our embouchure and go ahead and put our fingers on the first note that we're going to learn today, which is C natural, which uses the first finger on our left hand and the first finger on our right hand. Notice that my thumb in the back is still on the oboe. I'm not touching these keys here. So just 2 fingers on 2 keys. I'm showing you right now with my other fingers way out here, but really we want to keep those fingers as close as possible when we're not using them. But here are the 2 fingers I'm using. The rest of them are just going to float above the keys. And if we do the exact same thing, that da, 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 with our nice embouchure, we should get a C natural. All right.
At ang huling halimbawa nga ng woodwind instrument ay ang bassoon. Ano naman ang bassoon? Ito ay instrumentong nasa tagiliran ang ihipan. Ito ay may double reed. Kasing laki ng tao ang katawan nito at makapal ang tunog. Ito naman ang video ng isang bassoon kung paano ito ay tinutugtog o ginagamit.
Hi, I'm Jack, and I play the bassoon. I'm going to assemble it as I talk here. The bassoon is the lowest member of the woodwind family, aside from the contrabassoon, its close cousin. And it is a double reed instrument, which means that instead of having like a mouthpiece and a reed, it's just the reed attached to this little thing here called the vocal. And basically the 2 reeds vibrate together to create a very interesting tone. And the bassoon is one of the hardest instruments to play, so I have quite a bit to say. To get the reeds started, I mean that's really the challenge with bassoon, is getting the tone you need, because it's all through this little piece of wood right here. So you want your mouth to have a nice round O shape with forward jaw, like that, and then put your reed on. You get a nice tone like that. Tuning the instrument, the bassoon is generally in tune. Mostly, if you have to adjust for maybe a few cents, you can actually change your vocal length. I have 2 vocals here, and so depending on the day, whatever, you might need to use your longer vocal. But generally, the bassoon is going to be in tune. You just want to make sure you're very warm before you start playing, because that's the nature of the instrument. Tonguing, that's a big thing on bassoon. Bassoon is known for the staccato, that really short sound. And you do that by starting every note with your tongue and ending the note with your tongue with a little huff of breath. And you get that nice short tone. As far as different notes on the instruments go, the easiest thing you can do for bassoon is to get a fingering chart, because I mean, if you look, you got 9 keys in the left thumb, 4 in the right thumb, pinkies, you got everything here. It's a really tricky device, and fingering charts are free online, very helpful for beginners. I'm going to play a couple scales, easiest probably being the C major and the F major, and then I'll play a chromatic scale, which is the full range of the instrument. 2-octave C. Here's a 2-octave F. And then for chromatic scale, I'll play you the full range, starting on the lowest note on the instrument, going to the highest note that I can play. I mean, you can get a lot higher on bassoon, but it's very tricky in technique. So there's the full range of the bassoon. Good. C major. F major. And then chromatic. As far as cleaning goes, I'll have to take it apart a little bit again to show you. But the two joints you really want to focus on cleaning are the tenor joint here and the boot, because they're what collect all the water. So if I pour my boot out, sometimes, you know, get a little drop. But you can get a silk swab, it just has a weight on the end, and you drop it through like this. Pull the chain out the other side, and that's pretty much all you need to do to clean out your bassoon, aside from regular cleaning from a music shop or something. But I guess that's about it. I'm Jack, this is the bassoon, and thanks for watching.
Ngayon ay tumungo naman tayo sa brass wind o yari sa metal. Brass wind. Ito ay mga instrumentong yari sa tagso. Hugis kopa ang inihipan at napapatunog sa nais na tono sa pamamagitan ng mga piston, valve at slide na nagpapaikli o nagpapahaba sa mga tubong dinadaanan ng hangin nagbibigay ng tono. At ang halimbawa nga ng brass wind ay trumpet. Ano naman ang trumpet? Ang trumpet ay may pinakamataas na tono. Ito ay may 3 piston na ginagamit sa pagbabago ng tono. At ito nga ang video ng isang trumpet kung paano ito ay tinutugtog o ginagamit.
You hold your instrument, make sure you have a good grasp of it, because the brass instruments, all of them, are made up of a combination of copper and zinc. This alloy allows the instrument to be bent nicely into these beautiful shapes for these instruments, but if it gets banged and dented, it will unbend very easily. So, start from the front, the lead pipe. So the lead pipe runs across this side and into the main tuning slide. The band director tells you to move it to get you higher or lower. There's your main tuning slide. The main tuning slide water key, very important because condensation will build up in your instrument. The pipe rolls into the 3 valves. This is valve number 1 and its first slide, valve number 2 and its slide. I'm going to turn around here. The 3rd valve and the 3rd valve slide. There's a ring to hold on, as well as another water key. The instrument continues along as we get into this back bend here and into the expanding pipe of the bell. The bell actually has a bit of a ring to it, and it even looks a little bit like a bell. So now that we know all the parts of our instrument, let's move on to our next lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to set our face in order to play trumpet, and using our mouthpiece, make our first sounds. What we're going to do is called the band face. There's a fancy word for it, and it comes from French, called embouchure, and it involves our lips. We want to basically say the letter M, M. You notice when you say M, your lips are touching. Very important. M. The other thing you'll think about is the corners. The corners will be not hard, but they are somewhat gripped, like M, as though maybe I was going to push them against my teeth. So M and corners. Now, take just your mouthpiece out of your case, and we're going to hold this pretty gently, just thumb and first finger here. We want the placement of the mouthpiece on the embouchure to be centered, up and down and side to side. If you're working with a private teacher or your band director, they might have you alter the placement of the mouthpiece slightly based upon your muscles and your dental situation, but in general, centered up is good. So make the M, M, band face corners, centered. When you're practicing your band face embouchure setup, it really helps to use a mirror to practice so you can see what you're doing and see if it matches up with what I'm doing. Let's get some air flowing through the mouthpiece and see if we can get our embouchure working. Just blowing air. Let's set up the blow again, and this time, as you continue moving the air, bring your lips together into the M. Okay. When the lips come together, the air pushes them apart and they close very quickly. So, ultimately, when you set up your embouchure, your lips need to be touching, the corners are set, mouthpiece is in its place, and you keep blowing. When we make this sound on the mouthpiece, we call it a buzz, and it's really what the trumpet sounds like without the trumpet. Let's try making a buzz last for a count of 5. Nice full breath in. Set your band face. Ready? Inhale. If you're not making a sound, several things might be a factor. Your lips might still be too open. If your lips are open, they can't touch, and the air flows right through. Also, you might not be blowing your air hard enough, because it's not like you're speaking or singing. It is truly a the sound might be low, it might be high. It doesn't matter. Right now, you want to make sound. Your buzz might be flying all over the place. That's okay. See if we can settle it out by blowing a steady stream. Think about making bubbles in a glass through a straw.
At ang susunod nga na halimbawa nito ay ang trombone. Ano naman ang trombone? Ang instrumentong trombone ay makapagpapatunog ng iba't ibang tono sa pamamagitan ng pag-urong-sulong ng slide nito. Ito ang video ng isang trombone kung paano nga ito ginagamit o itinutugtog.
Hi, this is Bradley Peppers with Lessons in Your Home, and today we're going to talk about how the trombone slide works and the many positions of the slide. So, the trombone is played and tuned by using a hand slide. All of our notes that we play on the instrument are played in one of 7 positions. Each of these positions has a specific place on the horn, starting with first position being all the way in. So our first position note might be this, or a B flat. Now as we pull the slide out per position, our second position rests about 3 inches below our first position. and we would get a note a half step lower than that. So here's an A. Our next position, the third position, lines up exactly with the bell and would give us an A flat and the same progression of notes. As we go farther, the fourth position lines up with the bell and the end of the slide. Fifth position goes out a few inches farther, sixth position a few inches farther, and then finally the seventh position is about as far as you can reach. So each of these positions, when played in succession, may sound like this. Now that we know all 7 of our positions, we can learn that each position has a set of notes that can be played in that position. So our first position, we begin on a B flat, and we move up in a set of notes that include B flat or F or D, like this. And then second position, we begin with A, and we move up in a set of notes that include A, E, and C sharp, like this. So in each position, as we go down or come back up, we have a group or set of notes that we use to make scales or any other song off
At ang susunod nga na halimbawa nito ay ang saxophone. Ano naman ang saxophone? Ang saxophone ay karaniwang gawa sa tanso at nilalaro gamit ang single reed o mouthpiece. Ang mga saxophone ay may mga butas sa instrumento na isinasagawa ng manlalaro gamit ang isang sistema ng mga pangunahing mekanismo. At ito nga ang video kung paano ginagamit o itinutugtog ang saxophone.
So these are the absolute essentials you need to play the saxophone. We're going to start with the main body of the saxophone. And this is actually in 3 pieces. So the main parts are the bell, which comes down to here. And you can see there's an attachment on the bottom, which cannot be removed. It's been soldered in. This is called the bow. And this part here is called the body. So it's the 3 B's, the bell, the bow, and the body. And attached to these parts of the instrument are, first of all, the tone holes, which are the holes all along the saxophone. The keys, which cover over the holes and create different tones. We also have saxophone pads, which attach to the keys and help seal the air in when we press them down. If any of these are leaking or if the air is getting through, you aren't going to get the correct note if the pads aren't sealing against the tone holes correctly. And this is why you need to have someone experienced play your instrument to make sure that the pads are sealing to the tone holes. Then we have the thumb rest, which is this part here. You place your right hand under this thumb rest here. Side keys, palm keys. These are called the spatula keys. We have the screw here for the lyre. This is for marching bands. And this is where you hook on your neck strap. This is the octave thumb rest here. And this is the octave key that allows you to play higher in the instrument and triggers the octave vent. Which brings me on to the other part of the instrument, the neck. Okay, so this is the neck or crook that attaches to the main part of the instrument. And this is the octave vent, which gets triggered as you go higher on the instrument. Next we have the mouthpiece, which is right here. And this part is called a ligature, which attaches your reed to the mouthpiece. So all of these things come together to form the entire saxophone. So first of all, we start by putting the neck strap over our neck. We take the main body of the saxophone by the bell and grab it like that. And we attach our neck strap to the saxophone like this. Your neck strap should be adjustable, so you can just pull it up like this. Then we get our neck or crook. Then we grab our mouthpiece and twist it on maybe halfway or 3/4 of the way down the instrument. Then we place our reed on before putting on our ligature. Now, I go through this whole process on my website saxophonemasterclass.com/beginners. And I could take you through the whole process of placing on the reed properly, as this is one of the most essential parts of making sure that you can get a sound from the instrument. We then twist on the neck like so. And you want to make sure that the neck and the bell are straight. So everything is straight like that. And that's how the saxophone is put together. We have the bell, we have the bow, we have the body, we have the neck, we have the mouthpiece, the ligature, the reed, and it all comes together.
Ang huling halimbawa nga ng brass wind ay ang tuba. Ano naman ang tuba? Ang tuba ay ito ang pinakamalaking instrumento at may pinakamababang tono sa pangkat. Ito ay dinadala ng nakapaikot sa katawan ng manunugtog. At ito nga ang video ng isang tuba kung paano ito itinutugtog o ginagamit.
Back on the tuba now, and we're going to do the same exercise, and this is going to be a pattern. We're going to do things with wind patterning, then buzzing, then on the instrument. Sometimes just buzzing, then to the instrument, sometimes just wind patterning. But get in the habit of when you're learning new skills of doing it this way, and we'll do it throughout the curriculum. So now that we're on the instrument, let's go ahead and recheck our position. Make sure that the instrument is at a height where you can blow straight into it. Did you put it together correctly? Mouthpiece goes in, give it a little twist. So we should be in good position, we're ready to play. Now, we're going to do the same exercise that we were just doing. But again, you can wind pattern on the instrument, just like we can wind pattern on the mouthpiece. Now, we won't be able to feel the air this time because it's coming out all the way up here and kind of diffused from all this length of tubing. But just blowing air through is really going to help us out. So it's the same thing we were just doing. And you can hear, if you tongue hard on here at all, you're going to hear a pop. You kind of heard it on one of the notes that I played there. So here you're going to get immediate feedback of how that tongue is working. Let's try this together. So get that foot going with our pulse. So at this tempo, just wind patterning through the horn. Ready? Exhale. Let's do it again. Exhale. And again. Exhale. And one more time. Exhale. All right. Now I think we're ready to do this with our lips actually buzzing. We're going to make the sound and initiate the sound with that nice soft T. Are we ready? Here's the sound we're going for. Why don't you make that sound just on your own? Give it a try. We're trying to make that sound. Now, if you're having trouble still making the same sound I am, you can go back and review that lesson, review some of the sirens on the mouthpiece. But this is the sound that we're going to use for this exercise now. All right, get that foot tapping. And here we go. I'll demonstrate first. Exhale. All right, you ready? Let's do this together. Exhale. And again. Exhale. And again, exhale. And again, is your foot still tapping? Instrument in the right position. Nice soft T. Here we go. Exhale. This is important, so we're going to do it again. Make this one the best one yet. Exhale. And we'll stop. Now, again, you may not hear everything sounding exactly like mine sounds. This will take some time to develop. Use the wind patterning, use the mouthpiece, always focusing on the air moving across the lips. That's the most important thing. The T isn't that important. Remember, if we use too much of the T, it actually messes things up. So the T is very unimportant. What's important is that the air moves across the lips and we just get that tiny little bit of space in the airstream to create space in the sound. All right, so now we can initiate the sound on the instrument. So what we're going to do is the same thing we did on the mouthpiece. We're going to try to go faster, a little bit shorter, maybe more space. We're also going to try to go slower and try to make the notes as connected as we can. So first let's try faster. Okay, so we're still just going to play those 4 notes. They're just going to happen a little faster. I'll do it again. Okay, not necessarily impulse, just try to kind of go fast. Play 4 notes as fast as you can. Here we go. Exhale. It may be faster, it may be a little slower than mine. That's okay. Just go fast. Try to get 4 notes that you can hear. Exhale. See if we can go even faster, and this time let's see if we can do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Real fast like that. I'll play first. Let's try it. Ready? Exhale. Was yours as fast as mine? Faster? If it's faster, that's good. That means that you're using a really, really light T. You're not using a T, okay? Because that's going to make you slow all the time. That's one of the reasons we're working on going faster now, is to make sure that that T is nice and light. Okay? The other way to work on the light T is to play more connected. So that's what we'll try now. Listen to how connected these notes are. There's almost no space there. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. Okay? Now I am using that tongue, but it's a very small T and really focused on air across the lips to sustain the sound. Let's do that together. See if you can play as connected as I am. We'll go ahead and use a little pulse this time, nice and slow. You can go ahead and tap your foot along if you'd like. Here we go, slow and long. Exhale. And again. Again. Exhale. Good. Very important that we learn how to play all those different sounds in our articulation is what this skill is called. Long notes that are very connected, all the way to short notes that are kind of separated, and every other kind of combination. Sometimes we're going to play long notes that are going to have space in between. Sometimes we're going to play shorter notes in duration that are going to be very connected. The important thing is that you be able to initiate and create space for any kind of sound that you're going to need to do on the tuba.
Klaro ba ang mga video na inyong napanood mga bata kung paano itinutugtog o ginagamit ang bawat instrumentong inihipan gamit ang hangin? Very good. At ngayon alam nyo na kung ano ang pinagkaiba ng mga instrumentong woodwind o yari sa kahoy o sa brass wind na yari naman sa metal. Very good. Upang malaman ko kung kayo nga ba ay nakinig o naintindihan nga ba ninyo ang ating talakayan ngayong araw na ito, meron akong inihandang chart dito. Yan. Nakalagay dito ang woodwind at brass wind. Magpapakita lamang ako ng mga litrato ng mga instrumentong tinalakay natin kanina at tutukuyin nyo lamang kung saan kabilang ang instrumentong ito. Kung woodwind ba ito o brass wind. Maliwanag ba mga bata? Okay, sige. Ready na ba kayo mga bata? Okay, magsimula na tayo. Ang unang litrato ay ang isang clarinet. Saan ito nabibilang? Ito ba ay brass wind o woodwind? Yes, Bea? Very good. Ito ay woodwind. Pangalawang litrato, ito ay isang flute. Tama. Ikaw, Ana. Very good. Ito ay nabibilang sa woodwind din. Pangatlong litrato, ito ay isang tuba. Yes, Carlo? Tama, nabibilang ito sa brass wind. At ang susunod na litrato ay ang French horn. Saan ito nabibilang? Brass wind ba o woodwind? Sige, ikaw, Angela. Very good. Ito ay brass wind. At ang susunod na litrato ay ang bassoon. Sino ang nakakaalam? Yes, James? Very good. Ito ay woodwind. Nabibilang sa woodwind. At ang susunod ay ang trumpet. Saan ito nabibilang? Yes, Chris? Very good. Ito ay brass wind. Magaling mga bata. Kaya ako dahil nakita kong nakinig talaga kayo sa ating talakayan ngayong araw na ito. Bigyan natin ulit ng 5 malakas na palakpak ang ating mga sarili. Ngayon mga bata ay igugrupo kayo sa 4. Bubunot ang leader ng bawat grupo sa hawak-hawak kong mga envelope na may laman ng mga puzzle. Ang gagawin ng mga miyembro, kada grupo ay magtutulungan na buo ang puzzle at i-discuss ng leader sa harap kung ano ang larawan na nabuo ninyong puzzle. At ngayon lamang, mayroon lamang kayong 10 minuto upang matapos ito. Maliwanag ba mga bata? Okay, sige. Kayo ay naggrupo ko na sa 4 na pangkat. At nakabunot na rin ang inyong mga leader ng kanya-kanyang envelope. Pwede na kayong magsimula, mga bata. Tapos na ba ang lahat sa kanilang pangkatang gawain, mga bata? Okay, sige. Simulan na ang inyong mga presentasyon. Very good, Group 1. At ang nagawa nga ng puzzle ng mga Group 1 ay isang bata na tila siya ay gumagamit ng flute. Very good, mga bata. Ngayon ay tumungo naman tayo sa pangalawang grupo. Ayan, good job din ang group 2 dahil ang puzzle na kanilang nabuo ay isang taong tumutugtog ng tuba. Ang galing naman mga bata. Ayan. Very good. At ang pangatlong representative ay ang group 3. Mahusay para sa pangatlong pangkat dahil ang kanilang puzzle na nabuo ay isang tumutugtog ng clarinet. Pakagaling. Very good, Group 3. Ngayon ay tumungo tayo sa panghuling grupo. Napakahusay, Group 4, dahil ang puzzle naman na nagawa nila ay isang lalaking tumutugtog ng French horn. Very good, class. Ayan, isang tumutugtog ng French horn. Napakahusay ninyo, mga bata. Ako ay nagagalak sapagkat kayo ay nakinig at may natutunan na naman kayo sa ating talakayan ngayong araw na ito. Para sa pagtatapos ng ating klase, may inihanda akong maikling pagsusulit para sa inyo. At ang inyong takdang aralin para sa ating susunod na pagkikita. Bago matapos ang ating klase ngayong araw na ito, huwag nyo kalimutang kopyahin sa inyong mga kwaderno ang inyong takdang aralin para sa susunod nating pagkikita. At pakipulot ang mga kalat sa inyong ilalim ng lamesa at ilagay ito sa tamang tapunan. At tayo'y manalangin para sa pagtatapos ng ating klase. Ama, para sa pagtatapos ng aming aralin, kami ay naririto upang humingi ng pasasalamat sa isang makabuluhang talakayan. Amen. Ayan. So, goodbye class at sa muli nating pagkikita at mag-ingat sa inyong pag-uwi.